The video opens with a slow cinematic panning shot across a misty primordial rainforest, and the canopy above today is a dense, impenetrable roof of giant fern fronds and thick, creeping vines casting the forest floor today into a permanent emerald-tinted twilight, and the ASMR audio begins with the heavy rhythmic dripping of forest condensation.
Earth and ancient decay, alone. And the camera slowly tracks down to the muddy forest floor where hominids are.
Foraging, they are heavily muscled, covered in coarse, dark hair, walking on two legs but retaining power.
Of great apes, the alpha of the troop, a massive silver-backed hominid carrying a heavy branch.
Suddenly freezes. He stands fully upright, his wide nostrils flaring as he catches a foul, unfamiliar scent. On the stagnant air when the audio shifts from busy sounds of foraging to a tense, dead silence, broken only by the distant, eerie call of a prehistoric bird, and the alpha lets out a rumble.
Deep in his chest of the rest of the troop immediately drops their gathered roots and forms circles.
Frantically scanning the dense, shadowy undergrowth, following the alpha's gaze, the camera zooms in on a trench.
Carved through the muddy earth, it looks as if a giant, heavy log was dragged through forest. Crushing ferns and snapping saplings flat at the edges of the mud are still glistening with foul slime. The troop cautiously approaches the trail. Their wooden clubs raised, they follow the massive path through thickets,
Until it opens up onto the banks of a dark, sprawling black water swamp, the surface water.
perfectly still covered in a thick layer of suffocating green algae, without a single warning ripple. The black water violently erupts, a geyser of mud and algae blasts into the humid prehistoric air. The Titanoboa, a serpent of mythological terrifying proportions, launches its colossal head from the murky depths today. Unhinged to an impossible width, with blinding, terrifying speed, the giant snake strikes, its jaws clamped down.
On the shoulder of one of the younger hominids, the peaceful ambient noise is instantly shattered now by a deafening, panicked screech and the heavy explosive splash of churning water. The Titanoboa uses momentum
To drag the hominid toward deep water, its thick, muscular coils whipping out like a massive cable.
But the hominids do not scatter in fear, fueled by pure.
They attack. The alpha lets out a deafening, blood-curdling roar that shakes the canopy, charging water.
Raising his massive wooden club high, and he brings it down with bone-jarring force onto the scales. Audio highlights the sickening heavy thwack of wood striking the armored hide on the troop swarm's serpent.
They are a blur of chaotic primal violence, hurling heavy stones ricocheting off the massive snake body.
The soundscape is a terrifying, immersive blend of battle cries and aggressive hissing and violent rhythmic water splashing. Irritated and overwhelmed by the sheer ferocity of the pack, and the Titanoboa releases its grip on hominid. The snake rears its massive head high into the air, towering over the troop, and lets out a terrifying hiss that vibrates the very air in their lungs. It whips its tail across bank. A sweeping strike that catches two, sending them crashing heavily into giant trees with sickening wood crunch.
The snake turns its cold eyes toward the alpha, preparing to strike, but the alpha is relentless.
Seeing the snake rear back, he drops his club, lunging forward, grabbing a massive boulder with hands.
Muscles bulging to their absolute breaking point, and the alpha lifts the heavy stone as the snake strikes.
The alpha violently thrusts the jagged boulder directly into the serpent's open mouth, and the stone lodges deep.
The beast thrashes wildly in jaws, snapping shut on the rock, unable to swallow or spit it out.
The muffled, choking hiss is accompanied by the heavy, wet sound of massive body rolling death spiral, churning the swamp into a boiling cauldron of mud, unable to breathe or fight effectively the snake. Uncoils and slithers frantically backward, retreating into the deepest, darkest depths, leaving a massive wake behind it. The camera captures the chest-heaving exhaustion of hominids covered in mud, throwing heads back for roars,
asserting their dominance over the prehistoric nightmare, and the video fades to black as the roars blend forest.
Ancient world settles back into its natural state, where every creature must fight to survive the cycle.
Darkness brings new eyes to the swamp, as the daytime predators retreat to their hidden forest sanctuaries.
The struggle for dominance is eternal in a world where strength is measured by the ability to survive. Traces of the giant serpent remain as a warning to all who dare approach the black water. Bonds are forged in battle, ensuring the survival of the pack against the giants of the swamp. Insects grow to enormous sizes in the oxygen-rich air of this ancient and humid rainforest world. Sanctuaries exist far from the hunting grounds of the great serpent, where life can flourish in peace. Lethal traps are set by the smallest hunters in the forest floor hierarchy of this primeval world.
Collective effort is the foundation of life for many species living beneath the emerald-tinted jungle canopy.
Skills are passed down through generations to prepare the youth for the dangers of the ancient swamp. The predator recovers in the darkness, planning its next strike on the inhabitants of the forest floor. Vigilance is the price of safety in a land where monsters hide beneath the still green algae. Simple events trigger interactions across the ecosystem as creatures compete for every limited source of energy. The rainforest is a living organism where every leaf and vine plays a part in the whole.
Life is lived in the present moment, where a single mistake can lead to a quick death.
Ingenuity starts with the simple use of the environment to protect the troop from the surrounding dangers. Aerial predators keep watch for any sign of weakness in the hunters living on the forest floor. Reminders of the past are buried in the silt of the swamp, where the ancient world remains.
Warmth and security are found in the heart of the forest, where the ancient trees provide shelter.
A new day begins in the primeval forest, where the cycle of life and death starts again.
Beauty and brutality coexist in this world, where every flower blooms near the tracks of a monster. Caution is the hallmark of the survivors, who know when to move on to new foraging grounds.
Purity and safety are found in the hidden corners of the jungle, far from the great predators.
The rainforest is a tapestry of life, woven through millions of years of ancient and primeval history. The rhythmic dripping continues as a constant reminder of the humid and ancient world that we inhabit.
Strength and intelligence are the tools of the king, who rules the forest with a wooden club.
Coordinated movement is a defense against the hunters that strike from the air and the dark water.
The nightmare remains in the depths, waiting for the next creature to step into the muddy trench. The prehistoric world is vast and full of wonder, where the ancient cycle of life continues today. We leave the primordial forest now, where the alpha rules and the giant serpent waits in shadows.